Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Terrell. Let's get to it. Alright, so today we're doing the deep dive for the week. Dry Foot is the code name. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. Alright, so let's get into it. So the first stage of the deep dive is extracting Morkite and collecting 2 alien eggs. And this should be the fastest stage of the deep dives. There's no other modifiers, so just get in there, get the minerals, whether it's gold, nitra, or Morkite, and be on the lookout for both enemies and alien eggs. So if you are playing in a group, hopefully you have one of each class. That'll make things easier, or delineate the duties. The driller and the scout should focus on getting the Morkite and the eggs and providing passageways. The gunner should be providing support in terms of fire, take out any enemies, and the engineer should be doing the same, and also providing platforms to get to harder to reach minerals. Like I said, whether it is alien eggs, gold, nitra, Morkite, any of those three. If they're in a more difficult place, higher up, etc., then engineer should be putting down a platform to make the scout able to get those easily. Now, as you're going through, you will likely go through at least one swarm, possibly 2. As you're getting the alien eggs, each one has a potential of getting a swarm. I would say about 50% chance of getting a swarm. So if you're lucky, you'll get no swarms from grabbing eggs, and if you're unlucky, you'll have 2. But you shouldn't have more than 1 from that. Now, even with a swarm, hopefully the driller is going to be providing pathways for the group at large, and the scout is going to be scouting up ahead to grab Morkite, look for alien eggs, etc. And once you get your objectives complete, and don't forget you do need to do both the primary and secondary objective in order to get out, then hit that button and get out of dodge. Hopefully, if everything goes well, you'll be able to do this in 10 minutes, but not more than 15. So, like I said, this should be the fastest stage of the deep dive. So once you're done, hit the button, get the drop pod, and get out as quickly as humanly possible. And if you're doing it right, you won't have to call in a supply drop at all. If you do, it's not a big deal. It just means that you probably ran into more bugs, or it took you a little bit longer in order to get through the stage than what was intended or optimal. So either have your driller make a path to the extraction, or follow the mule, and either way you'll get to that extraction point. Now do remember that the mule can climb vertical surfaces very easily, whereas you have to find a way to do that yourself. Scouts, of course, are able to get through and traverse very quickly, very easily, and everyone else either has to zip line or platform or dig a hole up or down in order to get to the drop pod. Get in the drop pod, get out. If you do happen to see some minerals on your way out, especially nitra, make sure you pick that up. Very important to shore up your supplies of nitra. If you can get extra gold, that is certainly great. Now on to the second stage. Second stage is 2 mules, so it's a full salvage mission, and then morkite. So getting the morkite is relatively simple. It's just looking for those veins of morkite and extracting, digging them up and depositing them either in the mule or in the drop pod. The mules you do have to find. One should be relatively easy. Because it's a deep dive, the second one is going to be a little bit more difficult, and this one does have a modifier. It has cave leech clusters, so if you're a scout, make sure you're putting up flares into the large cavernous areas at the ceiling so people can see it, and if you're the engineer or the gunner, make sure you're covering your teammates so that you can either prevent or help people that are getting carried away by the leeches or the grabbers.
Uplink triangulation completed. Remote control reestablished. Stand by, sending in fresh fuel cells for the drop pod.
Explosives, spikes!
Reloading!
I'm taking some of the ammo. Yeah.
Look there!
Fuel cells have arrived. Get them connected to the drop pod.
Marker up!
Fuel cells connected. Now you just need to prep the fuel cells and the charge sequence will begin.
Pentagon needs assembling.
Fuel cells charging. Stay close to keep them operational. We're expecting an increase in hostiles.
Preserve your bullets!
Clear them out!
The smell, it lingers.
Ready.
Eat it!
Fuel cells at 50%.
Reloading!
Fuel cells at 75%. You're almost there.
Got it right between the eyes!
Explosive!
Be gone! Here! Have a bullet and a fight! Never felt better!
Shields, wait!
Whack-a-mole!
What's this?
Fuel cells fully charged. Drop pod engine powering up. Hold your ground. We're almost ready to pull you and the goods out.
Watch the fire, moron!
Pod reactor spooling up.
One sensor tank ready to be built. Great. It's armed and ready. Reloading. Watch it! Got it right between the
Onboard mainframe booting.
Vaporizing! Bamboo!
Calculating orbital trajectory.
Kill it before somebody gets hurt!
Powering radiation shielding. ECOM operational. Part thrusters calibrated.
Now this is how to compute.
Come on!
Once the drop pod's open, get in and get out. Hopefully you've grabbed more nitra and gold on the way, gold for credits at the end, and nitra for the last stage, and you will need it. Now on to the last stage, the third stage of the deep dive. This one is the most challenging or difficult of the deep dive. We have a modifier of low oxygen, and we are refining liquid morkite and getting 2 alien eggs. 2 alien eggs should be relatively straightforward as long as you can find them. Hopefully the scout will be able to get to them and grab them. The most difficult part is the low oxygen. So hopefully you have enough nitra for anywhere from 4 to 8 drop pods. And this is mainly going to be to provide oxygen to your team. So on the path between the rig and the pump jack are good spots for the resupply pods, because those will have oxygen on them. And then of course the rig itself will have oxygen. But the rig is a bit of a double-edged sword. Although it does supply oxygen, it is also one of the worst places to be, during a swarm or while you're refining morkite. But it is the easiest place to get oxygen. So until you find the liquid morkite to bring in the pump jacks do not have oxygen on them. You'll have to call down a resupply pod so that you can get oxygen, because you only have so much, and unless it is a short trip in between the pump jack and the rig, you're going to need a resupply pod somewhere along the way, and possibly, if it is a long distance, you could possibly need 2 or 3 supply pods along the way, especially when you're trying to build the pipeline. So once you are refining the morkite, I would say stay away from the rig and go closer to the pump jack. Hopefully you have a supply pod down so that you're able to get oxygen and you don't have to go back to the rig where there's probably a higher concentration of bugs. But hopefully you can get through all of it, get all of those matrix cores, and plus a big bump in both credits and experience as a result. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
Reloading!
The extraction has stopped. Must be due to jammed pipelines. Get it fixed.
Looks clean to me! So much better than walking!
This pipeline is fixed, but you need to clear all malfunctions in order for the refinery to run. This pipeline is fixed, but there are more outstanding issues. Extraction is back up and running. Let's hope it stays that way.
How do I get off?
We got company, and it's a nice one.
This!
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way. Pump sequence at 50%.
Reloading. One sentry gun ready to be built.
Pipeline jammed. See to it.
Armed and ready. I spy with my heads locked down.
Pipeline repaired, but other pipelines are still malfunctioning. Pipeline functional again. However, we still have malfunctions in the system. Well done. All pipelines are fixed, and the refinery is purring like a kitten once more. Pump sequence at 75%. The cargo rocket is almost full. Keep on fighting. More bugs coming your way.
Reloading.
The pipelines are leaking. Get on it. Get them fixed.
Booyah! Let's not keep the ball rolling.
Pipeline functional again. However, we still have malfunctions in the system. This pipeline is fixed, but there are more outstanding issues. You fixed the problem. Everything is running smoothly again. Liquid Morkite quota met. Hit the return button on the refinery to send the goods to orbit. We'll send in the drop pod to get you out. All objectives completed. Return to the refinery and start up the pump sequence. Wave alert. The noise from the refinery is attracting the bugs. Get ready for a scuffle. Well done. Cargo rocket is returning to orbit. We're sending in the drop pod to get you out. Hang tight.
Getting more ammo. Guys, are you blind? Look over here. Break the pipe!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
I got the Praetorian.
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
Have a bullet in the front!
Sticky boo!
Explosive spikes!
Hello, and good. We fight for rock and stone.
Retrieving escape pod.
Breakable! Rock
Rock
and
on!
stone, everyone!